Hello guys, myself Chirag. Welcome to my channel. This is my fourth video in interview series, and in this video I have tried to explain the power amplifiers using some animations. Hope you will enjoy and like it. Questions, and it is what are power amplifiers and how they are classified. Power amplifiers are also called large signal amplifiers, and large signal amplifiers are they provide sufficient power to output load to drive a speaker or other power devices. The output power can be up to few watts to tens of watt. The main feature of large signal amplifiers are circuit's power efficiency. It is the maximum amount of power that the circuit is capable of handling and the impedance matching to output device. Power amplifiers are class A, class B, class AB, class C and class D. And in next slides we will talk about all these types of power amplifier. Let me remind you the small signal amplifier. Small signal amplifiers outputs are up to only few milliwatts, and example of small signal amplifiers was RC coupled amplifier. Question is how class A power amplifier works and what are its principles. Class A power amplifier is just like a small signal amplifier. The difference only is it has a power transistor, and this power transistor works in active region. Active region at Q point in middle of AC load line, and you can see that if we give input a sine wave, we will get amplified output of that sine wave. The only difference is the output is 180 degree out of phase. The Q point is placed exactly at the center of load line, and the transistor works for every point in input waveform or for all 360 degree. From this animation you can say that if VC is whole sine wave, then IC is also whole sine wave. It conducts for all 360 degree angle, and when VC is maximum current, when VC is maximum, the current is minimum, and when VCE, this is a VCE, and when VC is minimum, the current will be maximum, or it will be in cutoff region. So advantage is there is a no distortion. You can say that the output is whole, this is a clear sine wave, so there is a no distortion. But the problem is it has low power efficiency up to 25%. And in next slides we will see how efficiency is calculated. See the efficiency calculation of class A amplifier. Power source is DC power source. The DC power drawn from the supply is VCC into ICQ. And the total output power or AC power is RMS value of VCE into RMS value of IC. Efficiency is output AC power upon input DC power. This is a ratio. This ratio is called the maximum peak to peak value of voltage VCE is VCC, and the maximum peak to peak value of current IC is VCC upon RC. And the Q points are we have seen that Q point is in middle of load line, so ICQ is IC max upon 2, and RMS value of VCE is equal to VCC upon 2 root 2. Here VCC upon 2 is maximum value, and its RMS value is maximum value upon root 2. Now the DC power drawn from supply is VCC into ICQ, and the AC power drive was RMS value, voltage RMS value square upon RC. It is VCC square upon 8 RC. Now the maximum efficiency will be maximum output AC power upon maximum input DC power, and its ratio is about 25%. But this is a main problem of class A amplifier. It has a poor conversion efficiency. To solve this issue, we can use a transformer at output stage instead of directly connecting RL. It saves efficiency, and it improves efficiency up to 50%. Type of power amplifier is class B power amplifier. The main difference is the power transistor works in the cutoff region. In this animation, you can see that if input is a whole sine wave, the current is only half sine wave, or it conducts only for 180-degree angle. So from this animation, you can see that if we use power transistor here, so output will be only half sine wave. But the problem is we cannot use the only one BJT. We have to use two circuits so that we get the full output. So we use here push-pull amplifier. Push-pull amplifier, we use two types of circuit, upper circuit and lower circuit. From upper circuit, we will get half sine wave for one period, and for lower circuit, we will get half sine wave for other period. So at load side, after summation, we will get the whole sine wave. So this is the main advantage of push-pull amplifier. One BJT conducts for half cycle. If we use only one BJT, there will be distortion. That's why we use two BJT, of which only one BJT conducts at a time. Now problem is how we split phase. So there are two methods of phase splitter. One method is we can if we take output at collector, then we will get 180-degree out of shift wave, and if we take output at common collector, then we will get inverted sine wave. So this is method by which we can get two waves out of phase by 180-degree. Now there are second method too. This is use of transformer coupling. If we use center tap transformer, here you can say that this is a center tap transformer. Using center tap transformer, we can easily get two inverted outputs. And now next slide we will see how these inverted outputs we get. Now this is a class B transformer coupled push-pull amplifier. If we use transformer coupling, then we will get two inputs. Both inputs are inverted, and but in this case, if we are using the transformer coupling, then there must be same type of BJT here in upper circuit and lower circuit. For first cycle, upper NPN BJT will work, and for second half cycle lower NPN BJT will work. The both BJT are NPN and connected in common collector configuration. Here you can say that output is a common collector. But BJT have opposite inputs 180 degree out of phase, so it is provided by center tapped transformer. The advantage is we will get efficiency up to 78.5 degree. But there is a problem too. That problem is called crossover distortion. We know that in practical NPN BJT there is a cut-in voltage. Cut-in voltage means after 0.7 voltage then only BJT will conduct. Similarly, for lower NPN BJT it will also conduct for minus 0.7 volt. So there is a reason between input minus 0.7 volt to 0.7 volt. In this region both BJT will be off. This is the main problem. When both BJT will be called, then there will be no output. So this is the reason where we will get no output. This type of distortion is called crossover distortion, and this is a major problem in audio amplifier. We cannot deal with crossover distortion, so we don't use practically class B amplifier. The calculation of power efficiency for class B amplifier, and we can see that if we use two MOSFETs or two BJTs, then we will get whole output for 360 degree. The AC power is given by RMS value whole square upon RL. RMS value is VCC upon root 2, so VCC is square upon 2 RL. This is a AC power, AC output power. Now input power. Input power is depends on DC current, and this is the current. For half cycle we will get half wave, and for another half cycle we will get another half current. So DC value is 2 upon pi into peak current. So after taking the ratio, the maximum efficiency is 78.54%. So this is the advantage of class B amplifier. For class A amplifier it was only 25%, so this is the advantage, but disadvantage was, so there is a other method also to get class B amplifier. This other method is called complementary symmetric circuit. In complementary symmetric circuit we don't use a transformer, we use two types of BJT. This is a NPN BJT and this is a PNP BJT. This type of configuration is called complement symmetric. In this configuration input is common for both BJT, but type of BJT must be different. If we are using NPN, then it must be PNP. If we input is positive half cycle, then upper BJT is on and lower BJT will be off, so we will get output for half cycle. And for negative half cycle, the upper BJT which is NPN, it is off, so lower BJT which is PNP, it will be on, so we will get output lower part of sine wave. So in complementary symmetric point, input is common to both BJT, so there is no need of phase splitter. This is the main advantage, because transformers are bulky in nature, and transistor must be opposite type so that both cannot on at a same time. This is called complement symmetric. So but the problem is there is a need of two separate power supply, VC1 and VCC2. This is the VCC2 and VCC1. So there was a problem of crossover distortion in class B amplifier. So next question was, explain class AB amplifier and its advantage. From this animation you can see that the Q point, this is a Q point. Q point is just above a cutoff region. It is not at exact cutoff region, it is between active region and cutoff region. So transistor is slightly biased so that conduction angle is more than 180 degree but less than 360 degree. That means there will be no instance where both transistors are off simultaneously. So therefore crossover distortion is eliminated. But the trade-off is efficiency. Efficiency of class AB amplifier will be decreased compared to class B amplifier, but there will be no crossover distortion, and efficiency is around 70%. And in practically all type of audio amplifier we use class AB amplifiers. This is the circuit diagram of class AB amplifier. Circuit is almost same as class B amplifier. This is a complementary symmetric circuit. We are using NPN and PNP both transistor, but the only difference is this is the two diodes, D1 and D2. Just like the class B configuration, we use here push-pull mechanism, because by use of only one transistor we cannot get full output, so we have to use at least two BJTs. The mainly difference is biasing the diode D1 and D2 are used to maintain Q point above cutoff region. You can see that the cutoff voltage of diodes are 0.7, so there is a difference of 1.4 volt. The biasing diodes used here will keep the transistor slightly forward bias even if there is a no input signal. This is the main point. If they are BJT are at forward bias even if there are no input signal. And these are the R1 R2 resistors. R1 R2 resistors are actually used to forward bias the diodes so that there will be drop of 0.7 voltage across it. Both transistors are slightly conducting at zero input. We have seen that there in class B amplifier, if input was between minus 0.7 to 0.7, there was a zero output, but it do not happen in class AB amplifier because of biasing of diodes. So crossover distortion is completely eliminated. R1 class C power amplifiers and its uses. Class C power amplifier conducts on less than one half cycle. You can see that from this will be output voltage, and it is very less, even it is less than half cycle. So advantage is if conduction current is low, so it improve efficiency, and its efficiency is up to 90%. This is the advantage. But again you can see that there will be a lot of distortion, because we are not supposed to get the this type of wave. We want to get whole sine wave, so we cannot use it in a audio amplifier. So this is a main important point. Class C amplifiers are not used in audio amplifier, but they can be used as radio frequency amplifiers. So we generally we use class C amplifiers with a tuned circuit. Tuned circuit has inductor L1 and capacitor C1. It forms tank circuit which aids in extraction of required signal from pulse output of transistor. This is a type of pulse output. Tank circuit has a resonance at input signal. Usually carrier frequency of RF application is resonance frequency of tank signal. So class C amplifiers are mainly used in FM transmitters and booster amplifiers. It cannot be used as audio amplifier. Now next questions are on class D amplifier, and it is very important for ISRO point of view. Explain class D amplifier and what are its stages. First, class D amplifier can be used as audio amplifier, where the power handling devices are operated by binary switches, and its efficiency is more than 90%. This is the main advantage of class B amplifier. And there is a smaller heatsink and a smaller power supply is required, so its size is class D amplifier size is very less, so it is used in portable home theaters and mobile phones. This is the diagram of class D amplifier. First, input signal is converted to PWM signal. PWM is pulse width modulation, and pulse width modulation is generated by use of triangular wave generator, and it is fed into a comparator. Then we will get pulse of different widths. This is the pulse of different widths. It is called pulse width modulation. Now this pulse width modulation is amplified by amplifier circuit. This is an amplifier circuit or switching controller or output stage. Because the power of this PWM signal is low, so it has to be amplified. Now again, this PWM signal is demodulated by use of low pass filter, or low pass filter is nothing but an integrator. So if we use integrator, then pulse is converted to analog signal, which is audio output, and we can get easily listen the song. This is the most practical type of audio amplifier. It is used in Bluetooth audio speakers, and even it is used in mobile speakers. So these are three stages: PWM modulator, amplifier, and PWM demodulation. Write suggestions or doubt in comment section. Please subscribe my channel to get latest update. Thank you.